to the Italian Football Podcast.
Yeah, I want to discuss Leao.
I mean, the thing is, like, I saw a report on that because saying that actually Milan have put the brakes on talks there a little bit because they can't afford to extend his contract when top four is at a risk. And Gazzetta said that, and then they reported today, I think, that it's looking more far away than ever before. And his body language as well, he does not look like he's interested. He really doesn't look like he's interested.
I think that's absolutely key. His body language in the last, not just the last two games in which he started as a sub, but even predating that, the last month, 2023, his body language in 2023 has been horrible. It is the body language of someone who is not happy, who just can't be bothered.
He looks like that. Can't be bothered.
Doesn't care.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah,
can't
be totally
bothered.
Indifferent. Not even anger.
No,
because when you show anger, it shows that you care. It shows that you care. When you're angry, it shows that you want to win, or you're reacting to something. It's like do you know what I mean? It's like going to a relationship. It's like a couple together. If one of the two gets angry at the other, it shows that they care. If they just don't say anything and they're completely indifferent, they don't really give a shit. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly.
I think this is the way I look at this relationship between Leao and Milan. It's just that he just doesn't seem to care anymore, and I just think that right now, it doesn't look good at all for so many different reasons in terms of the chances of him renewing.
No.
Number one, he's been dropped, so he's not going to be happy about that. He's been dropped for the last two games. He doesn't start the Milan derby, the biggest game of the season for his club. Doesn't start that game. That can't be good. That's not going to improve chances of you signing a new contract. Number two, you look at Milan, how badly they're doing, how badly they're performing. The fact that they might not even qualify for the top four as it stands, as you're negotiating the contract. But also, you look at the work they've done in the transfer market. They win the Scudetto last summer and then last season, and then in the summer they just buy youngsters, basically. Which we know the reasons for that. But to Leao, if you're a player, that's building up to become one of the best players or plans to be one of the best players in the world, you look at that and already you're thinking, is this the club? Am I at the right club? Then you see the lack of business in January at a time when they clearly, and I said it, and I still believe they made a mistake. They needed to bring someone in January to give them a jolt. They didn't do it. So he looks at that and sees that they don't buy anyone in January either. And also he just looks at the overall state of Italian football right now, the financially, how not just Milan, but everyone. Just doesn't have any money.
Everyone.
They've become a feeder league that we've discussed. All the scandals that are going on, Juventus, but also other clubs, Milan as well are being investigated. Other clubs as well. He probably looks at the whole thing, and you think to yourself, would you sign? Well,
Milan aren't being investigated. That's not entirely true. What is happening is that the owners, the sale of Milan is being investigated. So it's not Milan being investigated. I think it's important.
But if you're Leao, would you sign a new contract when you've got when you know that you can get an offer from the Premier League or let's just say the Premier League or another, a major superpower,
Real Madrid or whatever,
or PSG or Madrid, where they will double your wages at least, right? They'll be able to pay off that outstanding debt that you owe to Sporting Lisbon, but also not just from a financial point of view, but from a sporting point of view, you can actually join a club that can challenge for major trophies, not just in Europe. Obviously, the Champions League, we know Italian teams can't challenge for that, like Milan, but also domestically, like Milan are in a position where they're way off, even challenging domestically in Serie A, let alone
they're not going to win anything this season. They're not going to win a trophy. All the chances to trophies are gone. They're out of the Coppa. They lost the Supercoppa. They're not going to win the Champions League. They're not going to win the Serie A. So they're not going to win anything this season. And he looks how long he's been there, and he sees, okay, we won the Serie A, but that was they weren't in a position to be able to dominate from that and to build a winning cycle. So of course he's looking at.
So, if I'm Leao, I'm looking at my future and I'm thinking, right, my contract runs out in 2024. I'm 20. Was he 23 years old? Or is he 24 now? So you're looking at you and you're thinking, right, what am I making?
Staying here for?
What's my next step? well, I can stay at Milan at a club that's doing terrible, at a club that's not got any money to invest, at a club that, or I can join a club where I can fulfill my sporting ambitions and also earn double the money. I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
No.
Let's be honest. We're Italian fans. I want, everybody knows me.
Of course,
I
well.
want the Serie A to keep its players.
Well, we both. I mean, the thing is, like, it's like we both want the league to do well. But at the end of the day, there's no. Why would anyone?